ready to go. We're kind of ready to go. We need for this one, we're gonna need a wee tipple, as it's called in places other than America. Just a wee tipple of rye, if I may, because shit's about to get real. If you're watching this, I suggest you get a drink, because we're talking about a book that has made the Booker Long list of 2020. They culled down, they pared down, they carved away at a list of 160 plus novels. 160 books, culled down to 13 novels that are supposed to be these distinguished novels. I mean, I imagine it's supposed to be this experience for the readers. Come on. If you're going to cull 13 books down from 160, those books better be crushing it. And I'm sad to say, I'm not that sad to say it, I'm just here to say it, really. I'm just here to tell you that this book, Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid, it's shocking to me that this made the Booker Prize long list in 2020. But maybe I shouldn't be shocked because it's 2020. This book, if you listen, you guys might be able to hear it. If you flip the pages backwards, yep, you can hear it saying, "This book shouldn't be here." I should not have had to read this. I wanted to inform my viewers that if you're going to pick this book up, you're in for something other than a literary experience. And I don't mean that in any positive way. Twice in the month of August 2020, I read a frickin' Reese book. Reese Witherspoon's book club. And twice I have been sorely disappointed. Twice I've been driven to the drink. But this one was worse than Where the Crawdads Sing. In this train wreck of a novel, we can literally do this. I will just flip to a random frickin' page, and you guys, I'm going to read you a quote from that page, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This might backfire on me, but here we go. Let's see. And Tamra, though impressive in every other way, was quickly pushing 40. And then there were other numbers that suddenly seemed mortifying. The height of Alix's husband, the same as her, 5'10". Her own post-baby body, 141 pounds. And most of all, the fact she'd lain in bed that night before and been so pleased that she counted in her head how many African-American guests would be present at her Thanksgiving table. This number had totaled to 5. Rachel shook her head. "I want to kill him." Jody said, "I think there was a This American Life where this happened." Tamra nodded. "I know which one you're talking about." Oh. Driven to the bottle, all the earth-shaking things I want to say about this novel. I mean, come on. The only way Kiley Reid seems to know how to describe something is by stating the obvious. And she teaches creative writing, apparently. Let's get down to business. What's the novel about? This novel has been touted as a book that leaves no easy answers. This book opens with our main character, Amira. She's a babysitter for the Chamberlains, Alix and Peter, and their daughter Briar. There's a scene that you can very easily imagine, unfortunately, unfolding in America. The scene unfolds. She's babysitting Briar. She's in a posh grocery store late at night, and with Briar because of a family emergency, and a security guard confronts her because of a woman that felt concerned that maybe that baby was being kidnapped by Amira and her friend who was there with her. And so this whole scene unfolds. There's a dude that's filming it on his cell phone, and the scene unfolds. The writing of that scene, to me, is terrible. It doesn't serve me as a reader to read a scene like this unfolding in such terrible writing. Now I want to stop the video right here and just communicate these are my opinions. These opinions do not represent anyone else's opinions. These are my own opinions after reading Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. Then we spend like the next 2 or 3 chapters just like agonizingly revisiting a couple of the main characters' like history up to this point, about their job history and career history and how they got to where they are, and how Alix, one of the main characters, the mother of Briar, the employer of Amira, how she got to be this letter writing phenomenon that does conferences or writes books or whatever. We like Kiley Reid gives that to us in so much agonizing, boring detail where you're just like wanting to rip your hair out. Like, this has nothing to do with anything, and I just don't even care about this. I don't care about it for 1 second. Like, let's look at the second chapter. It is agonizing. Between 2001 and 2004, Alix Chamberlain sent over 100 letters and received over $900 worth of merchandise. These free products included coffee beans, Luna bars, makeup samples, scented candles, putty to hang posters on the walls in her dorm room, magazine subscriptions, sunscreens, and face masks, all of which Alix shared with her roommates and the other girls on her floor. While she majored in marketing and minored in finance, Alix did product reviews for a student newspaper during her sophomore and junior years at NYU. We're only right here. We are only right here. And the whole chapter is just this agonizing history of these characters and how they became pregnant and when they had their baby, and these texts that they're sending their friends, and it is terrible. The only thing good about this book was that it was a quick read. Even though it was 300 plus pages, it was a fast read because tons of it is text messages and dialogue, and it is agonizing. I mean, there is not a moment in this where you feel like, okay, all right, I'm getting it. This is nice. I can see where Kiley Reid is taking us. Is this the book on the Booker long list that is going to serve the conversation surrounding racism, white supremacy, systemic racism, and the issues that are prevalent in society today? No. If anything, and I honestly mean this, and I realize I am speaking as a privileged white American male. If anything, this book, in my opinion, hinders the conversation more than it helps the conversation. This book waters down the issue. It doesn't address the issue ever. At best, if I really bend my mind in optimism, if I really bend my mind and say, okay, I'm going to suspend all my issues with this, Kiley Reid, and I see what you're doing here, at best, what can be seen here is a poor version of addressing the issue of faux white wokeness. That is the topic totally deserving of being contemplated, discussed, debated over, hashed over, understood better, confronted where it needs to be confronted, etc. But this book doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. Kiley Reid fails us miserably in what she offers us here. I mean, it is like a soap opera. It really reads like a soap opera. I don't know. I don't even really know what to say about this. I was dreading making this video because I'm like, I don't know what to say. Such a fun age. How did you make the list? How did you tiptoe behind the watchful gazes of the judges and scribble your name on the list? You're a book. The thought occurred to me the other night, and this scares me as much as anything related to this book. After the string of instances of police brutality, did the Booker judges that were culling down this huge list of books respond to that saying, okay, wait, we need a book on the list that has something related to this. Let's find one. And then they dug up such a fun age and just agreed to put it on the list or something. If these judges actually took themselves seriously in choosing this book as one of the 13 distinguished novels that are meant to be put on display and put up against each other for the shortlist, and then put up against each other for the prize, the prestigious prize of the Booker Prize. If this could sneak in, if this could actually be deliberated over by these judges and determined to be something that was deserving of this award, it makes me wonder, what books are we missing out on because these guys chose this, and are the other books on the list subpar compared to some of the literature that should have been on the list? Because I can tell you this, I would have rather had a list of 12 books than 13 books with this guy on there. I mean, look, here's one of the lines in the book that just shocked me. Amira was finally doing well. She had this big thing happen in her life. Finally, she wasn't arguing with her friends. She had kept to her New Year's resolution. Oh my God. So far she had kept to her New Year's resolution and had made the bed every single day. That was her New Year's resolution, was to make the bed every single day. And Kiley Reid thought that that was a good line to type out in her novel and say, this is good writing. This is good right here. This is so creative. Like, what are you thinking? Who is this editor? I don't care if it's commercial. Like, if this is commercial, if this is published with this beautiful hardcover and this great design for the book and this great publicity, like, anybody can get published. Anyone watching this can get published and make a ton of freaking money. This is on the Booker Prize. You know it's making a ton of money. It's, no, more than the Booker Prize. This is on Reese's book club list. This is on Reese's book club list. This is a 7-day book at my library because they want me to return it quickly so someone else can read this. I should do the library a favor and just not return it so that everyone who reads it after this is either not adulterated by bad literature. My perspective. Did this earn its place on the 2020 Booker Prize long list? No. How did it make it here? If you read Kiley Reid and you were disappointed in looking for something, and disappointed thinking, gosh, is this the extent of the literature on this subject? Is this the extent of the novel on this subject? No, it's not. Go read Jesmyn Ward. Go read James Baldwin. Art does not have to have morals being showcased. It does not have to have, at the end of the day, a lesson to be learned. It does not have to teach us something. But what art must be is an honest representation of humanity, an honest telling of the human experience. And this novel was not that. The characters were way underdeveloped and way flat and unbelievable, and the dialogue between those characters was terrible and unbelievable and ridiculous at best. the story and the plot line it was just a cartoon of plot sequences and 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 coincidences and just unbelievable, unrealistic, unmoving realities. To even spend and waste time trying to analyze what it is the same as analyzing a cartoon for life lessons. You can't analyze this. There's nothing here to analyze. This was not entertaining. It was agony to read this. And that's how I feel about it. Did it earn its place on the long list? No. Will it be on the short list? I hope not. I hope not. I hope that this round of judges has eyes open on this thing and can go, what in the world is that doing on the list? What a waste of our time. That's all I got. I got nothing else for you people. In other news, we've got a poll going. It's down in my description. Click the poll. It's one single question, and it's asking what are the 6 novels on the long list that you predict will make the short list. The short list is being released September 15th, 2020. We've got 2 weeks to read the rest of these long list books. If you're joining along, if you're reading at home, click the poll in the description, answer the question. It'll take you 20 seconds. Share it with your friends, share it on your channels, your Twitters, your Instagrams. Hit that subscribe button. It helps me a ton. Hit the like button. Helps me a ton. Give me a comment. It helps a ton. Share my channel if you like these reviews. And good luck.